All right, everybody. 2019 Game of the Year is just around the corner. It's about 1 month away. Today is November 7th, 2019. I'm about to go pick up Death Stranding from GameStop. I can't wait tonight. I'm going to download it tonight. Then unfortunately, I won't be able to play until tomorrow after work. But at least I'm going to have it tonight. I'm going to download it. And maybe, hopefully, there's some music on the title screen. Who knows? But anyway, I wanted to make this video just talking about my hopes, my wishes, my wants for Game of the Year 2019 for the games that I want to see, because as you know, or as you may or may not know, it's a show. It's essentially like the Oscars. The Oscars every year happens in February for the critics to give out awards for the best movies the previous year. So every February, like this coming February in 2020, they're going to review all the movies from 2019. And I hope, by the way, just a side note, I hope the Joker wins, Film of the Year. I hope Joaquin Phoenix wins Best Actor. He totally deserves it. He crushed it. He destroyed it in that film. Go see the Joker if you haven't seen it, please. 2019's Joker, fantastic movie. Mind-opening, to say the least. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to talk real quick about some hopes that I have, that I want to see at the Game of the Year conference. They're going to have a lot of, previews, demos, gameplay, trailers, all that. They do it every year. And then at the very end of the show, they announce the best game of the year. And they announce awards throughout the show as well for like best music, best acting, best side character, best indie game, best type of shooter, They have all the different categories. But anyway, in between all of that, I'll talk about that a little bit, but in between all of that, I hope that we see some of these games that I'm about to name. I have a long list here, and I've been waiting for most of these games for years, some of them not so long, some of them much longer than others. So a new Zelda is the first thing on my list, of course. And this is not in any particular order, but this just flew out of my head, and onto the paper, onto the phone, right? So a new Zelda. Of course, Breath of the Wild 2, it's already been announced. We don't know the name of it, but that's what everyone's calling it. It's a sequel to Breath of the Wild. I just would like to see more of it, right? Whether it be music, a trailer, a poster, anything at all. That'd be great. But also, I would love to see a Nintendo 3DS Zelda game. We've never gotten a true 3D Nintendo 3DS Zelda game. Never once. We had like Spirit Tracks, I believe, and what was the other one? Was it Minish Cap or something else? Or, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on it? Spirit Tracks. What's that other one? Oh my god, I'm going to feel terrible. It's going to pop into my head. I'm going to be like, of course, that one too. But yeah, there was a couple that are like 2D, and those are great, whatever, but I want to have a real 3D adventure where the camera is positioned behind Link instead of a top-down type of view. So I would love for them to do that. They still have never done it, never on a handheld, not on the DS, on the Game Boy, nothing, not on the phone. They've never given us a true 3D original Zelda. The closest we had Ocarina of Time remade, and we had Majora's Mask remade on the 3DS. So as far as remakes, speaking of which, I would love to see an actual true HD port, an HD remake of Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Skyward Sword. I think all three of those games are sorely needing it. They're the other 3D Zelda games that haven't been touched. They haven't been upgraded. We already have Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, which are both incredible remakes, okay? Incredible works of art in their own right. But we haven't had any Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or Skyward Sword. All three of these games, Ocarina of Time is my favorite video game ever made, ever. And it hasn't been touched. It got ported to 3DS. I think it was in like 2012 or 11, a long time ago, and that's it. So I think Ocarina of Time is sorely needing it. Same with Majora's Mask, same with Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword's never been upgraded, ever. It's never had any kind of remake or remaster, so it's definitely needed. Okay, moving on. A new Mario game, a new 3D Mario game, whether it be, I would love it to be Sunshine 2 if I had my way, or maybe a Sunshine remake, a Super Mario Galaxy 3, a Mario Odyssey 2, anything along these lines. I would love a new Mario game. Mario is just right after Zelda, it's like my favorite thing, right after Zelda, like for sure, it's right up there. And another, speaking of remakes, Mario 64, Super Mario 64, you guys, do you remember that game? It hasn't been touched once again. It got ported to the DS, I think in 2005. It's been like 15 years since they've done anything with Super Mario 64. So I think that is in dire need of a 60 frames, 1080p HD remake. Absolutely. along with Sunshine too. It deserves it. And Galaxy looks great still to this day, but Sunshine's aged, and Super Mario 64 is definitely aged. I think they need to be remade. I would love to see any trailer or gameplay of any of these things. Metroid Prime 4, I put LOL in big letters right next to it. Yeah, I would love to see Metroid Prime 4, guys, but as you may or may not know, it's been in development for a couple years, but Nintendo just went back in early 2019 this year, and they restarted it from scratch. They separated with the company that was developing it, and they went back to Retro Studios, the people who developed the original Metroid Prime. So hopefully they're going to make it right, and I don't think we'll see anything this year. It would be great if we do. I mean, if we see anything in 2020 E3, I'll be surprised, right? It'll be incredible if we even see it in 2020 E3. It'd be great, hopefully. Maybe a little 30-second teaser trailer just like before. That's all I need, man. That's all the world needs. Just a little teaser, a logo, and a little bit of music, and we're hooked. We're in. We're going to talk about it for months and years. All right, another 4 coming up, Ninja Gaiden 4, Ninja Gaiden, depending on how you say it. I always said Ninja Gaiden. Dude, that game, Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, I don't think I ever played 3, but 1 and 2 are some of the best, most precise games that I've ever played. If you haven't, and if you like ninjas, you like fast-paced action, you have to play it. Fantastic games. So I would love to see Ninja Gaiden 4. I know they're working on Neo 2, and I hope that makes a little appearance there. I just played the beta, the demo. It is fantastic in its own way. It is the controls are so tight and responsive, and it's fluid. It's great. I would love for them to kind of do a crossover of Ninja Gaiden and Neo, because Neo is Team Ninja's other main ship thing besides Dead or Alive, the Dead or Alive series, which, by the way, has some of the most beautiful characters that I've ever seen in any video game. Ghost of Tsushima, man, this game, another ninja game, samurai game. We haven't seen it in so long, It's been like 2 years almost, a year and a half since we've seen anything of Ghost of Tsushima. I believe the last time we saw it was E3 2018. I could be wrong. It might have been Game Awards 2017. But, man, it's been a long time since we've seen anything of that. So, I'd love to see some Ghost of Tsushima action. Resident Evil 3 remake, oh my god. I try to stay away from Resident Evil 3 because I've never played it. I try not to see much of it. I'm waiting for them to remake it, and there's been rumors and rumblings that they are, and I hope maybe we get to see it at the Game Awards. I think it's December 12th, by the way, 2019, just 12th or 13th this year. It's really soon, really soon. Especially if you're watching this video, it's definitely incredibly soon. Okay. Oh, Resident Evil 8, I don't think we'll see it, but, for next generation, for the next-gen consoles, it'd be great to see Resident Evil 8, just a tease, anything like that. Resident Evil 7's probably my favorite horror game of all time, up there with Resident Evil 4, The Evil Within 1 and 2. They're just fantastic games. So Resident Evil 8, I kind of hope they keep the first person. They can keep the first person for like the numbered titles, and then on the remakes they can go back and keep the third person. That's how I think could be a good balance, because the Resident Evil community is arguing all the time about first versus third person, and I say, why not both? Let's keep both, man. Let's have some of the main games, be first person, and all the remakes can be third person, just like they always have been, right? And then every now and then for Resident Evil, if you want to do it for Resident Evil 9 or 10, go ahead, go back to third person. I have no problems with that, but I really think they should explore this first person thing they've been doing with Resident Evil 7. I think it's time to shine, because we have so many third person Resident Evils already. System Shock is the next one on the list. We haven't seen anything about this in almost a year. I want to say it's been like 6 or 9 months since they released like a teaser for it. It kind of looked like BioShock mixed with Cyberpunk. I don't know what. It looked great. There was a teaser of System Shock. It's being like remade, and I think it's like being rebooted is the word. So it's not going to be like a remake of the original, but just a reboot of the series. So excited for that. Speaking of which, with Shock in it, BioShock 4. Oh my god. I mean, it's been rumored to be being worked on for years, but we don't know anything about it. We know 2K still owns the rights, the publishing and development rights. They bought it from Ken Levine, who was the original creator, who's now he makes his own studio. I think they're called not Ghostwire, something with a ghost, I feel like. He created his own studio, independent. Ken Levine's been working on a game for years, and we haven't heard about it at all since like 2014. He did some conferences, and then that was it. So would love to see whatever he's working on too, and that's actually one of my next things on the list. Ken Levine's game, because he created BioShock 1. He didn't really work on BioShock 2, I don't think, and then BioShock Infinite, which is possibly my favorite of the series and one of the greatest games I've ever played of all time, BioShock Infinite. So I would just love to see what they're going to do, 2K, with Bioshock 4. Maybe they'll still have some of the people on the team from the original 1, 2, and 3. That'd be great. Or 1, 2, and Infinite. See where they go with it. Yeah. Okay, Halo Infinite, right? Next on the list. I'm very curious. I'm scared. I'm terrified to see what they're going to do with it, but I would just love to see something going on with Halo Infinite there. I don't know if they will. I don't know if Microsoft's going to want to tease the next generation. If they were smart, in my opinion, they would, because you want to get the conversation going. Everything in life is about psychology. It's about keeping people's attention, and the more you have their attention, the more likely they are to purchase your products and to come back and to keep giving you more attention, right? It's a cycle. It's a feedback loop. So if I was them, they could tease a 5-second trailer. They could have a logo, a picture. It could be anything, just a little bit of Cortana speaking or Master Chief saying something badass. It could be anything, and people would go nuts. So hopefully, maybe Halo Infinite. Last of Us 2. I've already seen more than enough, and I need to see that game. It would just be nice to see once again, a picture, a logo, a teaser, anything about it. Just to keep the people going, to keep the hype rolling, Speaking of hype, Elden Ring. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. Elden Ring. It's new. What's his name? I was gonna say Hideo Kojima, not him. Hidetaka Miyazaki, I believe, is the creator. He did Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Elden Ring. He's already jumping onto his next product. I thought he would go into either Bloodborne 2 or Dark Souls 4 or Sekiro 2, but no, he's jumping into a new thing called Elden Ring, which I'm assuming is going to be more like Dark Souls, but we're going to have to see. I would love to see if there's a teaser, anything about that, because all we have is literally a teaser trailer, of a cinematic trailer, no gameplay, nothing. Would love to see some more on Elden Ring, very much so. Next, Kingdom Hearts 3, man, the DLC, Remind. I really wanted them to come out with it, in November, October, because honest to God, I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year this year, which makes me sad to say, even though I think it does deserve it on many regards. Just because there was the DLC, the end game wasn't there, the post game with all the bosses that the Kingdom Hearts community is so fond of and so used to. They didn't have it in the main game, and that's just plain and simple. So without the DLC, Remind is coming in 2020. I don't think Kingdom Hearts is going to win the Game of the Year, unfortunately, for 2019. I hope if it makes it to the ballot, I'll be happy. If it's even on the ballot, I'll be very happy, but I don't even know if it will be. Hopefully. Fable 4, man. Microsoft's owned this IP, this intellectual property, forever, and they haven't touched it in probably over a decade. I don't even know. I played a little bit of the first one. It was incredible. I never really got into it. Fantastic game, just mystical is a great word to describe it. Just absolutely mystical. And Fable 3 happened, I don't know when, like 2010, I want to say, but they haven't touched it. They have not touched it. So with Fable 4, I hope they come out swinging, Lionsgate Studios, I think that's the original developer, bring them back, and, or something with a lion in there. And yeah, let them do their thing, give them access to Unreal Engine 4, they can go crazy with it. Fable 4, man. Oh, here we go. Back to Nintendo. Mario Kart. Here we go. You guys ready for this? Mario Kart Double Dash 2. I've wanted this game for as long as I can remember, since the first one came out, because they've never done it. They've never done anything with Double Dash. They made so many Mario Karts, and they're all great, you guys, but Double Dash has the thing that no other Mario Kart can contend with, in my opinion, and that is 2 people on the same kart. You get to work cooperatively with a partner, whoever you want. And the coolest thing is you can switch drivers and the guy in the back. So the guy in the back does the items, and the driver is the guy in the front. And you can switch at any point during the race. And you could become the driver. You can become the guy with the items. The cooperation, the teamwork necessary to succeed was astronomical, and I loved every moment of it. It's all about unity, about connection, about bringing people together, and that's what I loved about Double Dash. It's my favorite Mario Kart game, even though the newer ones are better graphics, better whatever, better responses. Double Dash is my favorite because it had 2 people where you could work as a team, partners. Moving on. Oh, Splinter Cell, Ubisoft. I hope they do something with it. Once again, they haven't touched it. What is up with these companies and not doing anything with their franchises? They have all these beautiful franchises, and these companies just refuse to do anything. They just leave them alone to die. Splinter Cell is one of the greatest franchises ever made. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, but no, they haven't touched it. They've been cranking out other BS, So I would love to see a next generation Splinter Cell show up at the Game Awards. And speaking of dead franchises, it's so funny the way I ordered these. How about Dead Space 4, you guys? You guys remember that game? Dead Space 1, 2, and 3? Oh my god, EA owns it, and they destroyed the company Visceral Games that made it. Unbelievable. Unforgivable, really. It's so unforgivable. They destroyed the company. They made Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, some of the greatest horror games of all time, you know? And they destroyed them. They destroyed the company, and they haven't touched the franchise. It's been dead for years. I don't know when Dead Space 3 came out. I want to say 2013. It's been like 5 years. Damn, like half a decade, more than that probably, since they have even touched Dead Space. It makes me so sad, man. These companies, it's like they don't want money. It's like they don't like money, you know? The way they behave, it blows my mind. These greedy little bastards. They're just, ugh. It's funny because EA destroyed Visceral Games because they thought that single-player games were dying, and they destroyed another Star Wars game that was a single-player game a couple years back because they said single-player games was dying. And then look what happened in 2017, 2018, and I almost guarantee you 2019. What were the game of the years, my friend? 2017, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, single-player game. 2018, what was game of the year? God of War, single-player game. You know, it's just funny. And what were the competitors? We had Super Mario Odyssey, single-player game. We had Red Dead Redemption 2, single-player game. Spider-Man, single-player, story-driven game. It's so funny. And now EA is trying to cover their tracks and be like, oh shit, they're trying to backpedal and be like, oh, here's a Star Wars game. You know, what is it? The Force Unleashed. Here we go. You know, we're not going to have microtransactions. Because they realize this is what people fucking want. We want single-player, story-driven games. They're the best games ever made. Ocarina of Time. Get out of here. Twilight Princess. Legend of Zelda. Get out of here. All right. Almost at the end, guys. A turn-based Dragon Ball Z game. I know this is off the cuff, totally weird, off the wall, random, but if you guys ever heard of the Dragon Ball Z, I think it was called Legendary Super Warriors or Legendary Warriors, something like that. It was a Game Boy game. I don't even know if it was in color. Maybe it was Game Boy Color. I think it was color, yeah. It was a very pixelated game, but it was turn-based. And I loved it. The two characters, you know, it was like a fighting game. They stood looking at each other on the screen, and you would take a turn as attack and then defense and vice versa. And it was great. It went through the whole story arc. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I would love to see more of that. And now that I'm thinking about it, I would love to see another Legacy of Goku, right? Like a Super, Legacy of Goku with Super going into the whole arc, or even redoing Legacy of Goku 1, 2, and Boo's Fury. Those are some of the best Game Boy games I ever played, you know? And on that note, I'm remembering, did you guys remember from the Game Boy Advance, there was the Lord of the Rings games, Two Towers and Return of the King, I remember. Those were fantastic games. Those were so much fun. I liked them a lot. Somehow I remember going invisible with Legolas and having my little knives and bow and arrows. I don't know if that's true, but yeah, I have a memory of that. Anyway, moving on. Okay, Starfield. Bethesda is in hot water right now with me and with most of their fans. They're really screwing everybody over. I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with Starfield. I'm interested. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am interested to see what's going to happen with Starfield. If they're using the same creation engine, say goodnight. It's already dead on arrival because it's going to be Bug City, and I'm pretty sure they are. And if it is, then it is definitely dead. I just want to see how it's going to turn up. Ghostwire Tokyo, it's a new game coming out from, what's their name? The Evil Within studio. Oh my god, what's their name? Oh, I'm blanking on it. Come on, Lion. Tango Gameworks. I'm sorry, my phone just cut off. It decided to stop recording. It's Tango Gameworks, I just remembered. That's the company that is Shinji Mikami that he made. And after Resident Evil. So I would love to see, what's going on with Ghostwire Tokyo. It's what they're doing next after The Evil Within 1 and 2. I wanted it to be The Evil Within 3, but no, they went on to a new thing. And the girl, the game director, she was so adorable during the E3 2019 press conference. She left the company, so it's like, God, what are you doing, man? Finish that game, get it out. It looks cool. I want to see what's going on with it, but then please go back to The Evil Within. I want to see what's going on with The Evil Within 3, man. Please, please, please. I love that franchise. It's horrifying. It really is. Okay, right near the end. What about Sekiro? I would like some DLC for Sekiro. Is there anything? Are they going to do anything with that? Bloodborne's got DLC. Dark Souls gets DLC, but Sekiro hasn't even been touched. I feel bad. I love that game. To me, it's one of the contenders for Game of the Year. I don't think it's going to be on the list or even win. No chance it's going to win. but it might not make it on the list. You know why? Because it was too hard. People didn't like it. They couldn't beat it. Oh, they couldn't beat it. They weren't good enough. So I don't know if it's going to be on the list. People got really upset about that because it was too hard. I beat it multiple times, like 4 times. I love that game. It's one of the hardest games I ever played. I died like hundreds of times, if not thousands. I don't care. I beat it. I destroyed it eventually. You know, I got really good. It was great. Fantastic. All of that, all the gameplay is on my channel if you want to check any of this stuff out. Most of these games, at least a lot of them that I've been talking about, earlier versions of them have been on my channel, like Resident Evil 7, right? I obviously don't have Resident Evil 3 Remake or Resident Evil 8, but I have the Resident Evil 2 game, you know, Resident Evil. I have a lot of Resident Evil. Resident Evil 1, Revelations 1 and 2, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2 Remake, yeah, all that stuff. It's there. Anyway, so yeah, Sekiro DLC, man. I would love to see some DLC for it, hopefully, right? We're gonna find out soon. Here's another off-the-wall one, going back to Ubisoft, however you want to say them. Prince of Persia. Guys, do you remember this game growing up? I mean, I don't know who watches these videos. I don't know what the ages you guys are, but for me, my age, man, Prince of Persia, dude, when I was like a teenager, that game is so cool. I never owned it myself. My buddy owned it, and I remember playing it and just falling down one time, and I think you held like left or right trigger, and it was called the Sands of Time, and you had this little knife thing, or it was like a blade, I don't know what it was with sand, and you could like rewind time, dude. It was so cool, man, and you could like run on walls. It had some decent platforming, so I would love a new Prince of Persia. And I also love looking at the box art when I was younger, you know, how they got darker and darker. I think they made 3 of them, and by the second or third one, he had like really long dark hair, and like the box was all like brown and like dark and gritty. I loved it. I'm all about that. I'm all about things getting darker as they go. I don't know why. I just love it. Okay, and that's really it right now. The only other 2 things are obviously the Xbox Scarlet and the PlayStation 5, which are the next generation consoles. I'm up here, I'm throwing my hands up in the air, I'm wondering, are they going to show us anything at the Game Awards? I doubt it, right? There's probably like a 5% chance that they show up, but wouldn't that be damn cool if, you know, Phil Spencer or somebody from Sony walks out? It makes me sad that I can't, Mark Cerny, I guess is the first name that comes to mind. You know, somebody walks out from Sony and Microsoft or Nintendo and just teases, yeah, even a Switch Pro, right? Just teases the next thing really quick. Like, here's a quick look at the next generation console, you know, concept art, a logo, an image, a sound, you know, a trailer of a game coming. Anything from the next generation I would love to see, just a tease, you know? They don't need to come out and reveal the pricing and the name and all this stuff. I mean, we know it's called a PlayStation 5, but we have no idea what the Nintendo's Switch is going to be called or the next Xbox is going to be called. We don't know the names. We just know the code names, or the code name for Scarlet. Switch Pro has been rumored. It hasn't even been confirmed by Nintendo, but we know they're working on it. They have to be, right? If they want to stay relevant with these new consoles coming in, it's business, right? They have to be working on one. So, yeah, that's really it. As of right now, and even off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything else that comes to mind that I'm super stoked for. Obviously, we got Cyberpunk coming 2020. We got, Last of Us 2. I talked about Neo 2. Ghost of Tsushima, I almost guarantee late 2020, summer or fall 2020. And yeah, you know, but overall, you know, I'd love to see Zelda, some more Zelda, Halo, Mario, Ninja Gaiden, all these things, right? I'm really excited for the Game Awards. Oh, and as far as, the top Game of the Year predictions for me. For me, Kingdom Hearts 3, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Devil May Cry 5, Death Stranding, I don't know, I'm going to find out tomorrow, right? I'm going to start playing it tomorrow. And Resident Evil 2, the remake. I know it's a remake, it's funny to say, to put it on the list, but damn, is that game good if you guys haven't played it. I totally recommend you do. It's a spectacular game, to say the least. So, yeah. I could also see, God forbid, you know, Call of Duty or Gears of War or Days Gone or, what's that other one? The Outer Worlds. I could see these showing up, you know, to be contenders. I hope none of them do, though. I don't think any of them deserve it at all. So for me, you know, it's those 5 that I named. Sekiro, Kingdom Hearts 3, Devil May Cry 5, Death Stranding, and the Resident Evil 2 remake. Those are my top 5 Game of the Year choices. If I had to pick one, I don't know. because every time I pick one, I go back to another one. But the purity of it all for me, you know, Kingdom Hearts 3, like, it's going to probably sum up this year. But I'm never going to forget about the rest of them. Then again, like I said, Death Stranding could show up tomorrow and just blow my mind to smithereens, which it very well may do. And it might swoop in and take the #1 spot. And I'm okay with that. But I'd be okay with any of those games winning it. Because they all deserve it, in my opinion. Resident Evil 2, it deserves it. Sekiro, I think, deserves it for its combat. You know, Kingdom Hearts 3 because of its story and its heartfelt connections. Devil May Cry 5 because of its combat and its gameplay and its craziness, you know, and Death Stranding for who knows what reason. I just have a feeling that game's going to be on the ballot. Only time will tell, guys. We will know in 1 month. About 1 month from when you see this video is when the Game Awards is going to happen. So leave your comments down below if you want. You know, like and subscribe if you also want. I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to grow. Just a lion out here trying to grow. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the games that are coming out this year, coming out at the end of the year, coming out next year, 2020 and beyond, right? What do you guys want to see? What are you excited for? And what game do you want to win? What do you think deserves to win, right? There's always kind of two different things maybe sometimes. Maybe the game you want to win is different than the game you think deserves it, right? So yeah, let's see. I'm excited. And that's it. All right, guys. I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to go pick up Death Stranding, and I might record it. You know, I might record my experience in the GameStop there, and we'll see what's going on. And I might upload that because it's always nice to look back at those types of things. You know, especially years down the road when GameStop goes away, because it will go away. It's dying. It'll be nice to have that footage. I also have the footage of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee on my channel too. When I went to that GameStop. All right, guys, take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.